There's a lot of interesting creatures that had roamed the earth for quite some time, but as though time goes on and with environmental changes or even evolutions in both the animal or their surroundings can alter their fate. Hi, my name is Jessa and we are going to look at the top 10 disturbing extinct creatures that will freak you out. Number 10, Manipulator modific captus. I mean, besides your ex, this extinct cockroach is also a manipulator, or at least called one. Manipulator modific captus is an extinct cockroach which lived during the Upper Cretaceous period. The cockroach was found to have an elongated neck, a freely rotated head, and unexpectedly long legs, which are indicative of predatory lifestyles. However, as of 2022, researchers have theorized that the manipulator had tended to live around and fed on flowers. The diet of these cockroaches, like our current, are particularly drawn to crumbs, spills, and food residue, especially starchy and sugary items. But considering it's been known as a predatory creature, it may not have been as violent as other creatures who reigned in power during this time. Either way, this insect, like the rest on this list, is extinct and was once native to Myanmar around 99 million years ago. Number 9, Argovantis. Like the seagulls of Finding Nemo, if these giant vultures squawked out mine, you'd probably let them have it. The 20 feet wingspan prehistoric bird called the Argovantis was as tall as a human and would prey on cattle. It was among the largest flying birds to have ever existed and has been estimated that the minimal velocity of the wingspan of the A. magnificus was about 11 meters per second or 40 kilometers per hour. Especially for takeoff, it would have been dependent on the wind, although its legs were strong enough to provide it with a running or jump start. The wings were simply too long to flap effectively until the bird had some height off the ground. However, skeletal evidence suggests that the breast muscles was not as powerful enough for wing flapping for extended periods. It seems that the Argovantis went extinct about 10,000 years ago when most of North America's largest animals went through a period of mass extinctions. Where the bird was ruling was in the land areas of Argentina. Number 8, Megapiranha. Piranhas by nature don't actually go for humans despite the multiple Hollywood adaptations and mythical aggressions of these tiny teeth angry boys. While piranhas on occasion do attack humans, this is only usually when water levels are low, and there have never actually been an official record of death due to piranha attack. As well as we know current piranhas bite, they can surely pack a punch, as one study demonstrated that piranhas bite up to 3 times harder than alligators proportionally. This bite is typically circular and crater-like in nature and that damages the skin underlying tissues, but with the megapiranha, perhaps it has been known to be a bit different concerning the current piranha state, and its size doesn't seem as life-threatening to humans. However, the megapiranha, I think considering its size being 3 feet long and 2 rows of teeth, it's a wonder how any sea creature survived at all. But to comfort you a little, these chomp babies only lived up to 10 million years ago. Number 7, Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus is a genus of large predatory marine reptiles, also known as Mosasaurus. These reptiles lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 87 to 82 million years ago. Tylosaurus was a formidable marine predator and belonged to a group of aquatic reptiles related to modern-day snakes and monitor lizards. Like other Mosasaurs, Tylosaurus had several adaptations for life in the water. It had paddle-like limbs modified into flippers for swimming, a streamlined body for effective and efficient movement, and a powerful tail for propulsion. Tylosaurus had a mouth full of sharp conical teeth, well suited for capturing and eating a variety of prey, including fish and other marine reptiles. Its jaw structure allowed it to consume relatively large prey compared to its body size, as the Tylosaurus, along with other Mosasaurs, became extinct at the end of the Cretaceous period around 66 million years ago. The cause of their extinction is thought to be linked to the mass extinction event that marked at the end of the Mesozoic era. Number 6, Hast Eagle. While there are monkey-eating eagles and a species called martial eagle with the wingspan of over 8.5 feet, a 30-pound raptor relative called the Hast Eagle had once terrorized the South Island of New Zealand. Local legends of the Maori people said the Harpagonus morore was known to swoop down and grab children to snack on. In comparison to the martial eagle, its wingspan would stretch over 9 to 10 feet and weighing up to 13 kilograms. Overhunting of its moe prey by humans was probably the main cause of its extinction. Loss of habitat due to the burning of South Island dry mosaic forests and shrublands by human may have also caused decline in its prey species. This bird lifespan did last up to 20 years, and after the Maori people whittled down the megabird's food source of said bird, the last time this giant was seen was around the year 1400. Number 5, Arthroplura. Arthroplura is an extinct genus of giant arthropods, aka giant millipedes, that you might have been a little uncomfy if you saw these crawling on your walls in the middle of the night. These giant bugs lived approximately 340 to 280 million years ago. These ancient arthropods are notable for being amongst the largest land invertebrates that have ever lived, and with some species reaching impressive lengths. Arthroplura had a long, segmented body, with each segment featuring a pair of legs, and the number of legs per segment varied along the body, with a total number of legs estimated to about 30 to 40 pairs. That's a lot of legs. This segmented structure is characteristics of myriapods, a group that includes modern millipedes and centipedes. The diet of the Anthroplura is inferred from its anatomy similar to modern millipedes, and it was likely a herbivore, thank God. Feeding a decaying plant matter and vegetation, its strong jaws and mandibles would have allowed it to process plant material efficiently. Arthroplura and other giant arthropods of the Carboniferous became extinct by the end of the period, and the reason for their extinction are not entirely clear but may be linked to environmental changes, including alterations in vegetation and climate. Number 4. Phosphoridae. Phosphoridae, also known as terror birds, are an extinct family of large carnivorous flightless birds that were among the largest apex predators in South America during the Cenozoic era, where their conventionally accepted temporal range covers from 53 to 0.1 million years. Standing at about 10 feet, their beak has been recorded to be roughly 46 centimeters long and curves into a hook shape that resembles an eagle's beak. Scientists have also theorized that these large terror birds were also extremely nimble and quick runners with running speeds of up to 48 kilometers. All Phosphoridae are also thought to have been carnivorous, and their strong downward curve from the tip of their beak suggests that it ripped the flesh from the body of other animals, as many extant bird species with this feature are carnivorous. But what killed the terror birds? Well, it believed that the terror birds became extinct when huge carnivore mammals such as saber-toothed tigers and the ancestors of wolves migrated from North America to South America. Their closest relative today doesn't seem as intimidating as their ancestors, but the ceramaeas are believed to be their modern relative. But the way that they hunt is definitely very similar, as the ceramaeas have a particularly violent method of killing their prey. Number 3. Helicoprion. Helicoprion is an extinct genus of shark, like fish, that lived during the Permian period, approximately 290 million years ago. It is known for its unique and distinctive tooth whorl, a spiral arrangement of teeth that forms a circular law structure. Helicoprion fossils are rare, and initially only the tooth whorls were actually known, and the first fossils were discovered due to the western United States, including Idaho and Nevada, as well as in Russia and Kazakhstan. Due to the rarity of the completion of the Helicoprion specimens, the scientists initially struggled to reconstruct the fish's jaws accurately. Different theories were proposed regarding the placement of the tooth whorl, including whether it was located on the upper or lower jaw. The Helicoprion is believed to have been a cartilaginous fish similar to modern sharks. Its tooth whorl suggests that specialized feeding adaptations, possibly for preying on soft-bodied cephalopods or other marine organisms. The exact diet, however, remains a subject of speculation, and the Helicoprion existed during the late Paleozoic era. It became extinct at the end of the Permian period around 252 million years ago, and the cause of its extinctions, like many other marine organisms during this time, was not entirely clear. Number 2. Megalania. Now, if you know a little bit on Komodo dragons, you know that they aren't actually dragons, but descended to related of the monitor lizard. But these Indonesian native reptiles aren't your average gecko, but in fact apex predators. They dominate the servers and ecosystems that they thrive in, and Komodo dragons hunt and ambush prey of all types, and considering they act in packs, making them even more dangerous. Komodo dragons eat by tearing large chunks of flesh and swallowing them whole while holding the carcass down with their forelegs. And if their intense bite and fierce aggressions doesn't terrify you, then their saliva might. Komodo dragons do have good mouth hygiene, but they also contain a variety of highly septic bacteria that would also bring down their prey. Which brings us to their predecessor, the Megalania, which, like the Komodo dragon, these extra gigantic monitor lizards were like the Komodo dragons, but of course just bigger. Early estimates place the length of the largest Megalania to 23 feet with a maximum weight of approximately 1,320 to 1,370 pounds. And just like the toxic saliva of the Komodo dragon, the Megalania had a venom stored in its jaw that would act as an anticoagulant, which would force the prey to bleed out profusely and lead to systemic shock. The last time this guy was around, though, was around 50,000 years ago, and their home base was in the wilderness of Australia. Number 1. Desmos Dracula. If you've seen this image of a giant golden crowned flying fox, has terrified Twitter users worldwide. Although a lot of people tried to debunk the size of the bat, I'm sorry to say this picture is real, and it is in the Philippines, which kind of ties to the legendary myths like the aswang or manananggal, which speaks the tales of a mythical creature in the Philippines that is able to separate its upper torso from the lower part of its body. But this bat that you see is actually the size of a medium-sized dog and are actually very gentle. They just have a really large wingspan, and they don't eat humans, they just eat fruit. However, at one point in time, we did have a bat that may have been concerning if it was still around today. Desmos Dracula is an extinct species of leaf-nosed bats that inhabited Central and South Americas. It had a wingspan of up to 50 centimeters and a body mass of 60 grams, or kilograms, making it the largest known vampire bat of all time. And unlike the cute fruit bat, the food source of Desmos Dracula and other vampire bats is blood, according to scientists. The reality with these creatures were that they were very peaceful animals in nature, but they do feed off of the bloods of animals as well as sometimes humans, at least for a few minutes without causing discomfort, like a needle when you're getting injections. The only bad thing was that they would transmit diseases as well as rabies if they are infected, but you might be a little relieved to know that they became extinct during the colonial period around 1820 and possibly as a consequence of the Little Ice Age. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope this was very informative and a fun list for you to learn from, and if you already knew some of the animals on the list, then good for you. Proud of you. Always be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. My name is Jess, and I wish you all the best. Bye!